Good morning, everybody. Today, I will be taking a general topic in this COVID period. We all are facing a problem of teaching learning hurdles, or in a way, you can say that the teaching learning is mostly affected in most of the classes, most of the universities, most of the institutions across the globe. And we have a different structure of teachers in our institutions. Some teachers are very well versed with the online system. Some teachers are not very well versed, and they need to be given some input, and some are on the verge of retirement, and they may not be able to cope up with this online system. But it becomes very necessary to discuss some of the online systems. I have tried to look at these aspects that due to this coronavirus spreading and affecting our routine life, how it matters to our teaching, how can we manage this teaching learning process through online mod, and what are the different challenges that our universities are facing, and the probable remedies. I cannot say that online teaching can substitute offline teaching, but it is very important to understand that online teaching is basically a kind of augmentation to the teaching learning, regular teaching learning, and it cannot replace offline system. So let us start this. We will cover some of the background of this necessity or need of online teaching. Then we will look at that what are the different learning management systems available, free or paid, whatever. Then while using those learning management systems, we'll also look at that what are the integrated modules that are available in that learning management systems, which can be used in institutions, universities smoothly. Along with that, we will also look at that while using those learning management systems, what are the different challenges that faculty members may be facing, and along with that, what challenges are ahead, because it is not a matter of 1 month or 2 months. I believe that this is going to change the way our universities are involved in teaching learning. This is going to be affected for long term system, and maybe that years and years we need to use online teaching system. So we will also discuss that what are the challenges in this process for students, for teachers, for universities and institutions also, and to the government also, because it is not that government is not having challenges. We will discuss the challenges which our governance may face. Along with that, we will also look at it is not only the teaching, but what exactly it means in online evaluation system. How to evaluate students so that we can complete our chain of teaching learning evaluation process. And we will also try to look at the challenges in online evaluation system, followed by some of the questions, if any. So we would like to give some figures in recent days. In last month, we can see that the Zoom, which is video conferencing platform, has gone 30 times up in terms of subscribers. So users from almost 10 million active users to as claimed in media 300 million users. Similarly, Google Meet has gone 30 times up, adding almost 3 million per day subscribers every day. So these are certain figures which indicates. I have taken some of the key platforms. The team of Microsoft has gone 70% up in subscribers, active users. In case of WebEx, the figures are not available as to what percentage the number of subscribers are increased. But yes, the very open source Jitsi Meet has also observed the very high jump to almost 10 million subscribers. And this Jitsi Meet is basically an open source system which anyone can use without any fee and without any and if you can use a little bit resources of systems in university or institutions, you can customize it for your university purpose. Along with that, we have also seen that Google Classroom has gone 100 million users, most of the highest users in case of classroom management system. And along with that, another platform called Canvas has also gone up with the 30 million users right now. So this indicates that these are the key tools which are being used in recent days in online teaching. So looking on other side, especially in India, we have 935 universities as per UGC record on 1st February 2020. The data is just to imagine the quantum of the level of issue. And if we take one sample university of, especially technical university, I am not taking the general university, because in general university you will find that 10,000s of students are enrolled at the same time. But if we take our own university, we have 2,300 students and number of programs. UG programs are 13, PG programs are 12, and then number of doctoral programs are offered by different departments are 14. Total number of 132 faculty involved in teaching. And in recent days, we have observed roughly 60 to 70 lectures, online lectures delivered per day by these faculty members. This figure is estimated one. And our university is using mostly G Suite for education, classroom, Zoom, Jitsi Meet, Google Meet. We have also conducted online mid-sem examination during 2nd to 8th May of 2020. So if we can look at that 935 universities and then multiplied by roughly, if you on an average, if you take 2,500 student or let's say 5,000 students per university on an average, then you can understand that handling some 50 lakhs of students roughly with this figure, and teaching it definitely requires some strong infrastructure and all. So if we look at that, what are the core learning management systems which are very common, which are very popular, and offered by different companies and used by different universities across the globe. So I have tried to focus on these three, and this first one is Google Classroom, and we have taken Canvas and Microsoft 365, what we talk about, and integrated, a package by Microsoft. So this one is a little bit challenging one to use, whereas using Google Classroom is quite easy, and has the highest subscriber right now, approximately 100 million, and Canvas with the 30 millions is the second number, and then, but yes, for a common man, Google Classroom is quite okay, but for advanced courses or for advanced technical programs, and if you want to offer online MOOC courses also, and if you want to use integrated module, Canvas may be a better option than Google Classroom. But looking at the different requirements, for some university, Classroom may be a good option, but for some, Canvas may be a better option. So if you look at that, Google Classroom is having video conferencing app, integrated conferencing app as Gmeet, Google Meet. But at the same time, you can also use Zoom. You can also use this blue button is not available openly for this Classroom, but you can use on your individual level. WebEx can be used with the Classroom, it's easy. This Jitsi Meet is also a good option which can be used with the Classroom at the same time. Whereas the Canvas is having integrated video conferencing tool as a blue button. This blue button is relatively a better option as compared to Zoom or Google Meet, because what I find that blue button is having some user friendly features. Say for example, it has a whiteboard. It has, if you want to use mathematics or technical equations, so this may become a good option with side by side your own visual. Along with that, it has different integrated modules. Most of the modules in Canvas, they are integrated with this blue button. So I find it a better option while using it. But at the same time, you can also use all other options of video conferencing in this Canvas by putting simple link, invitation link, and putting into the Canvas module or messaging, and you can use it, no issue. But blue button is integrated one right now. Along with that, what we talk about Microsoft 365, earlier which was called as Office 365 or office.com or online. Why we take this as a learning management system, there is a different reason. What we talk about, that one thing is very clear, that you have all the best sharing options available with the students, along with your feedback, real-time feedback. Say for example, if you want to if you simply make a PowerPoint presentation, so you can make PowerPoint presentation in online Microsoft 365, you can save there, and you can share that online presentation with each student, and the student can give you feedback, put questions. So in a way, you can ultimately in classroom or this or through Google video conferencing, what exactly we do, we are basically using some of the display and then explaining things. In this one, we can also use directly sharing with our maybe Word file, maybe our Excel file, maybe our PowerPoint slide, and this is having an integrated video conferencing app as called Team. So Team is available in this Microsoft 365, which can be used for that PowerPoint presentation, just like your classroom or any Canvas. And at the same time, the additional benefit is that you can share the PDF, you can share Word, you can share other files also with the students at the same time. And you can also open a real-time chatting window with the student. So that is also a benefit. So these are three very important modules. I have tried, I have used this Google Classroom also in my class, I have used Canvas also in my class, and I have used this also once or twice. So my experience is that Canvas may be a very good option if you want to put into very smooth class, but definitely this Canvas is little bit complicated to understand, whereas the Google Classroom is quite easy. But then Canvas is having more features than Google Classroom. Canvas is enabled with, you can say, discussion forums. You can look at that sharing, you can create quiz, you can add poll, you can add modules, you can, and while putting these quiz or giving assignments, this is feature enabled. Canvas is having so many features enabled with that. Say for example, if you want that your assignment, student's assignment should be evaluated by the peer group system. So the function is not available here, but function is available here in Canvas. You can simply put assignment, assign that assignment of one student, X student, to Y, and let the Y evaluate. Or you can also you can also use that assignment of a student is being evaluated, assessed by 3 students, and then you can take choose whichever you think is very close to the real one. So it is quite easy. I think Canvas is having more features. So I would definitely prefer to use Canvas. While using these online video conferencing or online learning management system, why we need learning management system? Because we find the integrated system of sharing, taking feedback, chatting, discussing, explaining things with the digital mod, and using different forms like whiteboard. Maybe Microsoft Whiteboard is very useful sometime. Google's Jamboard is also a very good option in online teaching. Apart from that, the integrated whiteboards or blackboards or green boards, whatever, they are also quite good in some of the video conferencing, like Zoom provides this facility. Then Canvas is already having, Blue Button is also having, but it is not available in Google Meet. Jitsi Meet gives you customization option. So while using all these online learning management systems or online video conferencing apps, the major challenges that comes before students is basically what I feel is mindset. They are not mentally prepared for that. So they must be prepared, ready. And since you know that they are sitting in their home, and they might be having so many other activities going on in house, so they may not be able to develop that ecosystem for learning. So we need to create mindsets. Another challenge before the student may be that sometimes students do not have that equipments. They may not have that smartphone, they may not have that laptop, they may not have uh, but yes, for that it can be manageable, because the the problem that our country is facing is that the student cannot join by calling via audio system to this video conferencing. But it is there in the US and in other countries. The option is available that by just calling a simple number from their mobile, from a normal keypad mobile, they can join online conferencing. So equipment as well as the infrastructure is also a big issue. Network problem is reported by most of the students. They say that we have 2G system, we have 3G system, we have not proper 4G signals. So this depends that how to manage. So we can look at that. We should use those learning management systems and video conferencing tools which can work smoothly on low bandwidth, which requires low bandwidth, or the bandwidth which can smoothly help those students to look at and to join the classes without any hurdle of breakage. And by my own experience, I think Zoom is doing very well. Jitsi is using the low bandwidth, and which can be easily accessed by even in rural areas. I've used it for many weeks and years, months. Google Meet is also a good app, but Google Meet is giving some problem sometime to the student, and student says that the bandwidth problem is there and network issue is there, because these requires a very good bandwidth for the network. Then for a student there may be a data issue, and students are finding it a big challenge that roughly if you look at that 4G with a good HD video, if they join with video and audio, 1 hour will take roughly 7 to 800 MB data, and if they have to join 4 classes, so it will be roughly 3 GB to 4 GB per day, and that is a big challenge for the student to manage. So in that case, the solution may be that they should not make their video on, they off their video, and by that way they can save their data up to almost 400 MB to 500 MB per hour. So within 1.5 GB of their package, they can join 4-5 classes every day. So that may be a issue, but yes, this data may be data could be managed in university premises, but it's not possible. And if we talk about the challenges for teachers, there are big challenges. Being a teacher, I can understand. I'm also one of the 132, and I can understand that the problems, the challenges, the problems which are faced by teachers are actually the challenges. looking at this, I can understand that if you look at that age versus technology, so every new age generation comes up with the advanced technology, updated technology. So as teacher grows old and gain experience, teacher become mature and experienced, but teacher may not be very well versed with the updated technology. So you can say that age and technologies are inversely to each other. So if looking at this, suppose we have 132 and I talk about in simple figures, we can understand that out of 132, say for example, half are younger, below 45 age, and half 60-65 marks is above 45 age or 40 age. So you can understand that above 40 or 45 or 50, they may not have basically this computer technology, online video conferencing in their education system, or even up to their master's program. The faculty who are in the age bracket of 45, they were not having these computers in their master's program, except computer science, engineering and all, engineering education, in general education if you talk about. So this is definitely teaching online definitely would be a challenge for those teachers who are having above 45 or above 50. They may not find it very comfortable, whereas the faculty who are below 50 or 45, they may be finding it very easy and routine job. But this is not a benchmark. There are some teachers who are in age bracket of 55, they are quite doing well in online teaching, and they have the learning quotient and they learn. But along with that, network issue and data as discussed in student, there's a similar case in case of teachers also, because they are also living in society and the same infrastructure, same network and same package is available to teachers also. But yes, those teachers who are living in campus and they are being provided free of cost, unlimited Wi-Fi or internet, they may not have these issues. Infrastructure and resources at home may be another issue for teachers. Infrastructure, why we talk about, because say for example teaching online and then using a fine camera, webcam may be an issue, may not be available at home. Then teaching class online with the mobile may not be very well comfortable when you share files, when you use PowerPoint, when you use video sharing. So they may not be very user friendly in mobile system. In laptop it may be that you can use webcam, but yes, the pixel quality in webcam may not be very good. So this infrastructure and resources may be another problem. While recording a video, if you want to record video and then share it, then there is a big problem of recording software. Sometimes we use free app, but they may not be very good, and they have their limited life. They expires after 15 days, 1 month or something like that. So I would recommend open source video capturing or broadcasting softwares. I use OBS, and for editing purpose OpenShot and the inbuilt Windows 10 video editor, and I get my job fulfilled by these open source softwares. The challenges in online teaching includes students management. When you start online teaching, video conferencing, you never know that whether the student who has enrolled in your class with their email ID is genuine or not, one thing. Second, whether the particular student is continuously active in your class or not, because you cannot make every student on their video, because that will disturb their overall data and per day requirement. And with the audio simple broadcasting, you cannot say, it is just like broadcasting your voice through FM radio, and someone is listening FM radio or someone is not listening FM radio, you cannot make surety. So this is happening something like that. And sometimes student management becomes very difficult, because some students are smart, teachers may not be very well versed. I can share one example, that even my class itself, when I started with the Jitsi Meet, some student started kicking other students, making them out of the class. So these activities may be a challenge to manage, because they are sitting at home and the software is not supporting you. Say for example, in some other Zoom, you may have some facility of that student cannot remove students, or you can lock the classroom. Once you start classroom, you can lock it. Or like in our university, this problem was mostly handled with providing them G Suite email ID, official email ID @hptu.ac.in, and we started using that email ID to log in Gmeet or whatever. And with that, students was able to be identified if any wrong unwanted activities was done by student. We were able to track that student, and then we could handle that activity. So another challenges for institutions, altogether for institutions, since the student is at home and teachers are also at home, so institutions may not have big challenges. But yes, for long term purpose, for next semester, for coming semesters, the challenges before the institutions are mounting, and they at random they cannot go online. They need infrastructure. There are infrastructure in our 932 universities. I don't think that even universities in 3 figures would be having proper infrastructure for online teaching. Altogether, it is not a big issue, but yes, there will be a little bit load on budget, regular budget, to manage infrastructure. That means maybe that good bandwidth, Wi-Fi system, then providing that lecture recording system in departments, video editing, then so all those infrastructure requirement would become a challenge before institutions. Instructional issues are also sometime challenges, because it becomes very difficult for administration to instruct without understanding the available resources and saying that okay, we'll switch over, we'll use online teaching, and forcefully instruct that every faculty must use, without understanding that the person 55 age bracket may not be able to may not find it comfortable to go online, and without any training, without any proper giving time, it is very difficult to switch over. Monitoring teaching learning sessions is also a big challenge, because it would be very difficult to handle all 132 teachers at the same time and looking at that what they are teaching every day, what whether they are taking class or not, what timetable they are following up. So a little bit monitoring, if you make it open for softwares. Say for example, if university says that okay, every student every teacher must use the integrated portal of university, then monitoring become easy. You can look at that which classroom is going on. You can understand that whether classroom is going on or not. But if you are saying that okay, teachers are free to use whether Google Meet or whether Jitsi Meet or whether Google Classroom or Canvas, so it is very difficult. Altogether in G Suite for education, it is easy to track whether the classroom is formed by the particular teacher or for the subject or not, how many students have joined it, and then when someone use Google Meet, then for G Suite purpose, this is easy to track down whether online video lectures or video online class was organized or not. Then for institutions, providing technical support may be a challenge, because for technical institution it is quite easy, but for non-technical institution, common universities or common institutions, that may be a big challenge to provide technical support to all those teachers. And for next semester also it would be difficult, it would be a challenge, and let's see how our universities are coping up with this challenge. Another important challenging domain is for government. If we see that those video conferencing app, learning management softwares and the active subscribers have increased to 10 times or 20 times or 30 times or 100 times, so obviously they will be occupying that bandwidth, they would be sharing that network, the same network that we are having. We are still fighting with the 3G network, and we have only two major 4G network provider in India. So infrastructure for Wi-Fi or for 4G or high bandwidth is a big challenge, and it is the duty of the government and it is duty of that telecommunication department to look at these aspects, that at random if the load is increased from load is increased 10 times on the existing infrastructure, what would happen to the speed and the services. So this is a big challenge to upgrade all 4G and provide alternative options. The government may do it by opening another 4G option for BSNL, and then for improving infrastructure, improving towers, improving technology and capacity enhancement. So this will take some time, and government is also having these challenges. Providing guidelines to different institutions is again a big thing. Do's and don'ts, like recently Home Ministry had given some advisory regarding the Zoom application, security issues with certain apps or tools which are being hosted in some different countries. So there may be security concerns, security issues. So for government, the challenges are increased, and the government should look into that. Now, after this teaching learning using all those either Google Classroom or Canvas or through Microsoft, we can also go for evaluating. At least our university has already attempted and made some examination via online system using different quiz modules and all. So one can understand that it is very it is not easy to go for online evaluation system, yet there are if and buts. But the presently practiced methods of online evaluation, whether real-time evaluation or the post teaching learning evaluation. So we are using like discussion forums, quizzes, online assignments, short answer type questions. So we are using these methods for online evaluation. Discussion forums are usually real time. When we teach through video conferencing method, there is a chat box and there is a discussion forum where you can student can put their questions real time, and you can directly look at those while delivering that and you can answer those questions. So discussion forums integrated with the module are good enough to help you, but those discussion forums which are not real time, which are not discussed, like sometime we also use social media platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram and all. So my choice is that Telegram may be a very good option for discussion forums, because one thing is that the limitation in WhatsApp you can use maximum 256 in a group, but our class size may be more than 256. Or sometimes if you use all branches, if you use all students, it may be in thousands. Whereas the Telegram option is very huge. You can create a group of up to 2 lakhs members. Another good point is that in Telegram you can use poll. Single question you can place and you can get answer in real time online. This is also helpful because you can understand that how many students are online right now. In Telegram it is visible, and it can also work as attendance. Suppose you want to know that at exactly in your lecture at 1 p.m. how many students were present, actively present. So you put simple one question and the answer will come, and it will be recorded in your Telegram that how many students and who with name, how many students answered this. So active members are visible online. Say for example 45 active members are visible and the 40 student answer, it means the 40 students who are actively listening you and 45 are logged in and they are seeing you only. They are passive listener. So social media platforms can be used for discussion forum. This is another evaluation method which is real time evaluation, whether your student is listening to you, understanding or not. Quizzes, assignments, short answers, these can be used as post teaching learning evaluation. There are integrated modules for quiz. Online forms are there. Google Classroom uses Google Forms integrated in form of quiz. Canvas is also having the integrated quiz module. They are not using Google Form or even Microsoft Form, but Canvas is having their integrated quiz module. So they use that. So that you can use and develop quiz. Quiz may be MCQ based, single choice based. You can use quiz mode also, where you have option to show the result to student immediately, or you can share the grading later on. In integrated module there is a benefit that if your number of students are more than 1000 or something like that, so you can very easily import the grading or evaluation, the marks of the students in a systematic way and then share it with. So evaluation becomes quite easy, very easy. In integrated modules, importing grades is a big thing and error free. So I prefer that this integrated modules must be used rather than independent online forms. Assignments can be given in form of integrated file uploading system in as an integrated module, which is there in Canvas. Canvas gives you option to upload it, to write then and there a long text, and you can also use social media by WhatsApp or Telegram. You can get submissions via emails. You can also get submissions, but in case of integrated file uploading system, the evaluation become very easy, because then and there you can evaluate and share marks with the student. In case of email, you need to pair with the roll number and identity, and there may be error of grade mapping. So short answer type can also be used in online forms. It is also possible. Now, looking at all these things, what are the challenges? The very big thing in challenges I faced is that you must have the belief in online system. There are teachers who do not have belief that their online system can give them a good result, and they are not very comfortable with that online system. So you must have belief. If you don't have belief, you would unknowingly you can university can force you to go for quizzes, but you will not put all your efforts to make quizzes very useful for the course. So if you have belief in online system, you can put your energy and you can put your knowledge into that, and you can design quiz. In online, in some other lecture, I will try to give briefing about how to conduct quizzes in a very effective manner. And here we can only discuss that yes, there are problems in evaluation mechanism. If you put simple MCQ, they can simply evaluate it automatically. You need to choose right tools for that. Conduction of examination is also a big challenge. When to start, and how much time to give to student, and then looking at that whether right student is giving sitting in your examination or not. And there comes a question of managing sanctity of the examination, because the student is sitting in home and they are giving the examination, so you never know whether a student is giving examination or someone else as a proxy is giving examination. So impersonation is a very common problem which is a challenge. What I have seen and as a solution for this, that if every student use Chromebook, then the Google Classroom, Google Forms do have an options in quiz mode that they can go in Chromebooks, they can lock their all Google Chromebook except form. That means no other tab they can open, no other application they can open, no Google search they can open. So if a student uses Google Chromebook, then this problem can be sorted out to some extent, that they cannot cheat from Google search, they cannot cheat from any other file, but personally someone can help them sitting next by. That is also possible. But yes, online teaching can be covered with the this Chromebook, but it is not available. It is not possible in Indian system. The students are using different platforms. Someone is using mobile, someone is using laptop, someone is using desktop, so in that case it is not possible. The only thing is possible that yes, you can restrict that one student can submit their option once, and you can take certain measures which are available as a feature of online forms, whether in Microsoft Office forms or in Google Forms. Plagiarism is one of the another issue when you ask for short answer questions. They can simply copy from somewhere and they can paste it. So in that case also, the Google Classroom and Google Classroom gives you option of anti-plagiarism feature. Google Forms gives it, and they check online in their own database if someone has copied from some Google link, Google search. So that can be underlined by these softwares, and you can look for, to some extent you can look for these plagiarism issues. Academic conspiracy. This is a very big problem which I've observed in recent midterm examinations. What happens? The student makes up small groups, and the moment you open quiz, they share the answer with each other in a different private groups. And when 30 or 40 or 50 students are doing this thing, so managing this becomes very big challenge. And that is why I say academic conspiracy. They make a conspiracy. Each student solve one question, and the moment they get answer, they share it in group, and all 59 students can simply take it. So as a solution, what our university adapted a practice that we asked the student to upload the rough work, or the rough work they had during that examination, and upload the same along with that quiz as a file, so that we can check whether a student has actually solved this or simply ticked the answer. So we can manage this by some techniques or some method, but it is again a big challenge. Students are smart and they keep on innovating new methods. So these are some challenges which I think that are very common. So thank you for this whole session.